Alright, so we want to touch on the Will Rattigan show, ladies and gentlemen. This particular conversation, I am going to be looking at. This is going to be my raw reaction to the information. So let's get into it, alright?
As early as your 40s, you may lose muscle and strength, proteins.
Welcome back to the Midday News. Land titling is set to be modernized under a $1.42 billion Korea-Jamaica partnership. Details in this report.
At a time when land reform has been a point of contention, a $1.4 billion program to modernize land titling has been announced. On Tuesday, the government signed off on the Land Administration Capacity Enhancement Project through a partnership with the Korea International Corporation Agency. It's expected to bridge the gap between land possession and a title.
A land title is more than a document. It is a platform for opportunity. And this project is about building that platform at scale. Across the world, public administration is being transformed by data, digital platforms, geospatial intelligence, automation, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence. Jamaica must keep pace.
The project will be implemented by the National Land Agency, NLA, with technical partners including Korea Land and Geospatial Informatics Corporation, and will run in stages. It will run until 2031, with the first phase to set institutional arrangements and establish the Land Administration Innovation Center, and eventually become a hub for practical trainer development through intensive preparation courses.
The programs will include geoinformatics, cadastral mapping, surveying technician training, cybersecurity for government, land record management, and advanced GIS training using ArcGIS Pro. The ArcGIS component is particularly significant. It will prepare the NLA staff for the transition to electronic land registration solution.
We're just moving because...
Imagine being able to build an app with your name.
You have to move him in because, you know what I mean?
Welcome, sis.
Hello, my brother. How are you?
I'm on top of the world.
Ooh.
What? I want to. So, people,
yeah, I'm good, thank God.
ArcGIS. ArcGIS actually is an old technology. I remember we were talking about ArcGIS 10, 15, 20. It's old. But anyway, you know, you can't bring any old brook and come sell at Jamaica, you know, because you know how it goes. No, you can't bring any old brook and go there because we know it go, you know.
Because they're frightened for foreigners.
Top all of them things, eh? So we know the scheme. So, and then for our people, a lot of us, we don't understand some of these technical terms, the technology. We don't understand all of this. So when them say it, we say, yeah, man, do something, you know. But what's being done? Nothing.
But like that, I think it was Marty Perkins. I think it was Babaton that who said that they get a voting pattern, but they spend it in English. They spend the money, get you spending money in English because you listen to all of that, and even us as educated, smart people don't have a clue what he's saying. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine a person who can read Rattigan? Make it make some sense.
Indeed.
So they say these nice things, you know, to throw people off.
I think to some degree he doesn't even believe what he's saying, or some people would say
not a word.
So much that he believe are true. It's one or the other. It's like you don't believe it and completely believe him lie.
But you know why what you're saying is right, Rattigan, that he doesn't believe what he's saying. Was it budgeted for? Because if it is not in the budget, it's not going to happen.
Indeed. Now, folks, sis, here's what happened. I was told that there was some comment made about some form of government, democratic socialism, and I don't know anything about it. I don't. Mm-hmm. I never saw it, never heard it. I mean, the comment that caused this furor, where I heard that people, it's the latest topic now, democratic socialism. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to look at it from what someone said. I'm going to look at it from a strictly factual basis. Because we want to educate our people. And I'm going to show you people something tonight. Now, remember that we talked about our system of governance. We've even had an exam. We have some exam questions in the past. We had some exam questions on our system of government in Jamaica. I'm going to show you a chart that we recently developed. And I can tell you that this Saturday, there will be questions coming from this chart. there will be questions. Those of you who plan to take the exams, and I suspect that's all of you students, pay close attention. Take a look at this. All right, remember a while back we showed you one from JIS. Well, what we did was we went and we built it out. We built it out, and we're going to quickly explain this to you. Now, remember what we said, that Jamaica has a king, King Charles. It's not a joke. This is a fact. And the king is represented by the Governor General. Right? Now, if you look at the Constitution, it says there's certain things that the Governor General, the king by extension, they have control over. Well, let's start with, what is government? Let me ask that question. What is government? Because people say, government this and government that and government that. And you must understand this basic concept that the opposition and the ruling party, they're government.
Yeah.
The opposition, they participate in debates.
Yeah.
They participate in voting in parliament. They are part of government. So when people say government this and government, I think what you really want to say is cabinet. Cabinet sets the policy for the country of Jamaica, not the parliament. The parliament gets a chance to debate what's been brought to the floor for policy and laws and procedures and regulations. And sometimes they themselves can put forward some of these things. But when you talk about policy for the country, it's the cabinet, those 18, well, I don't know what the number is now because the Prime Minister keeps putting new people in his office and give them ministerial position.
28, you know.
28.
28 of the 35 MPs are either ministers of government, state minister, or parliamentary secretaries.
Okay.
So 28 and what, 7 make 35?
Yes.
Yes. So yes. So yes. So every member of parliament is in this. Yeah.
The 28 people. We never had this before. And remember now, when you're a minister, now you pay a jump up. So what?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Now I was going to say, and even the parliamentary secretary is getting $18 million a year. And somebody asked the question. I was on Colin Bell's show watching it, and somebody asked in his chat, does the Ministry of Education need 3 people? You have the Minister of Education, the Minister of State, and you also have the parliamentary secretary.
Crazy, bro.
That's 3 persons right there.
Crazy.
In a country where resources are so scarce, you have 3 persons, and still the Ministry of Education is failing. Yeah, continue.
Well, how about Minister Grange's ministry, where she's a minister, she has a state minister, and
Terrence,
she has 2 permanent secretaries.
Yes, okay, there you go.
Not
There
one.
you go. It's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy.
So now people remember this. The government of Jamaica, there are 3 branches of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. The executive, that's the cabinet. They are the ones responsible for setting policies. The legislature, that's parliament. They are the ones who pass the laws. And then you have the judiciary, that's the court system, that the judges.
Very
They're the
important.
ones who interpret the laws. So let's go down now. Look at it right here. The man.
Smita, we're restructuring. Your role is being.
Un momento, por favor. Skip. Thank you.
It is right here. The man. It is. Let's talk with the cabinet, the executive, the cabinet. Prime Minister and members of the cabinet, and the ministers are assigned portfolios, and they oversee departments and agencies. They're appointed by the Governor General on the advice of the Prime Minister, and they include statutory bodies and advisors such as the Attorney General, and they have the local government. These are the people setting policies. Not these people here.
That's right.
Not that. These are the people for making laws.
Yep.
And overseeing government finances and guiding fiscal policy. But the real policy, listen to me, the policies
Yes.
governing the direction of Jamaica is coming from
The cabinet.
the cabinet. So the legislature, we have the king, and we have the parliament, bicameral, and it means two by Senate, House of Representatives. Now look, the Senate has 21 members, 13 nominated by the Prime Minister. Look at the remaining 8 nominated by the leader of the opposition. They discuss They can't pass. They can't. I don't think they can pass finance bills, but they can talk about other bills. They debate other bills. They vote on other bills, including constitutional bills dealing with the Constitution. And look, they review bills passed by the House of Representatives. So when I'm telling you that the opposition is part of the government, believe me when I tell you this. Look at the lower house, 63 elected members. You see the Senate, 21, and they're all appointed. Prime Minister gets 13, opposition leader gets 8.
Yes.
On the other side, 63, and they represent 63 constituencies. They debate and passes legislation, and they control government finances. 63. But what are the numbers now? 35 and 28. Opposition 28, government. They're part of government. Remember that, people. They're not part of this one, the cabinet. They're not. The cabinet, the elite group, the ones that's, as you heard from Sister Maria, 28 of them. So when you hear the post-cabinet briefing, no opposition member is invited to that or is a part of that, because that's the ruling party. Yes. So 28 of them now, they sit down and you see the thing about the TCN, the up to 10,000 people are coming to Jamaica. Yes. You think any opposition member had any saying that? No. The cabinet, they set the policy.
Teach them.
And then we'll come over. So you have policy, right? Cabinet. You have laws, legislature, and then over here now you have the judiciary, the courts. And we have the Privy Council, believe it or not, still in effect in London. It's the apex court, meaning it's the top court. It's a court where you go for final review of criminal and civil matters. You have the CCJ, by the way. Then you have the Court of Appeal in Jamaica. You have the Supreme Court. You have the Resident Magistrates Court, and you have other courts: traffic court, gun court, family, revenue, coroners, juveniles, and civil court. These are all the courts right there in 6. Plus the Resident Magistrates Court, Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, blah blah blah. So I want you to pay. Again, let me go back over it. The cabinet, they deal with policy. And you'll hear the minister say it. You will hear ministers and even the prime minister, you'll hear him say, my job is just to set the policy, and the people below me, their job is to implement the policy. You'll hear them say that. And then legislature, parliament, they pass laws. And the judiciary, they interpret those laws. Again, let me go back. Executive, cabinet, they determine policy. Those policies, they'll come over here, and in many instances, they'll become bills. And after bills, they'll become laws. And then when they become laws, they come over here for review to see whether or not they pass constitutional muster. These things will be on the exam this Saturday. Just keep that in mind. Let me see if, and then we have the Auditor General right here as well. So, let me move this and then go to, where is my, hold on one second.
As the opposition is to provide constructive scrutiny, offer practical alternatives, and ensure that public policies and programs genuinely improve the lives of our people. Every question we ask, every report we analyze, every motion we table, and every alternative policy we propose should ultimately serve that purpose.
All right, that gentleman's from Uganda, part of the opposition. And hear what he's saying. He's listing the things that as opposition members they're required to do, they're supposed to do, because they were sent there by the people. Mm-hmm. Take a look at this. And then we get to the democratic socialism piece. Take a look at this. In Jamaica now, we're talking about the role of the political opposition. Short, kind of busy, but I'll quickly go through it. Key roles of the opposition. Here it is, hold government accountable. So you have to question them about spending. That's why the PAC and the PAAC, you hear a lot about them. Yeah. They're chaired by opposition members. And they're doing a really good job of questioning spending and exposing not just mistakes, waste, or wrongdoing, but also corruption they're exposing. Then they examine and debate legislation. They offer alternative solutions. They represent diverse views. They monitor public spending and administration, and they protect democracy and rights. Come over here, so. Here it is. When you say government right, so it's essentially cabinet, right? So cabinet accountable to parliament. So parliament debates, passes laws, and holds government accountable. Look at opposition. Questions, scrutinizes, and offers alternatives. And it is right here. Forget me now have Kevin thing. All right, see it right there, so? Opposition participates in debate, questions, and committees. So you see the opposition plays a crucial role. Never mind where it says right here, where it says government right here. Technically speaking, opposition is part of government.
Yeah, man.
No. We showed you earlier the thing about Tivoli Gardens. And we showed you that housing, for example, is a huge problem in Jamaica. Remember, slavery, at the end of the abolition of slavery, left us landless.
Yep.
We started out with, we worked the land, but when they say you're free to go, we didn't have anything. And when they say free to go, remember, and Bert Samuels took us down this road this past Saturday. He said, listen, they passed a law. When the abolition bill passed, the slave masters said to the colonial leaders in England, listen, you're taking away our property without compensation. And what happened? They said, all right, we're going to give you 20 million pounds, which was, think about it, 1800s. And the slave owner said, this money is not enough. We want more money. And the UK government said, okay, even though the bill has been passed for you to free the slaves, you can keep them for another 4 years and just say it's apprenticeship. But it's still slavery. Them not get no money. Right? You just keep them there and just you keep, because we can't give you more than 20 million pounds. So we'll have you keep the slaves for another 4 years. So they kept the slaves 4 years after the slaves were, they passed the bill to free the slaves. They kept them for 4 more years working for free. And when the 4 years were up, what did they do? They passed a law saying that if you stay on the property, you don't own anything, you're going to have to work and buy what you need. And if you come off of the property and we catch you out the street, we're going to lock you up for being a vagrant. So they tied you to the land. So Dominican, listen, all the way who are descendants of slaves, and we own something now.
Jamaica, when you hear that, history. I'm going to play something from Patricia Sutherland.
Our ancestors.
Because
they had nothing and they had to fight, etc. We are standing on the shoulders of great people, but we don't like it today. We don't act like it because look at what's going on in Jamaica now. You barely hear a peep out of the people. Them, you barely hear a peep. So again, when we got down to the Tivoli thing, remember, as I said, it was Premier Norman Manley who went to the White House in 1961, sat down with JFK and said, listen, let me tell you what's going on with Federation and let me tell you what's going on with West Kingston. We need a long-term, low-interest loan to build out this development. And it was agreed that, yes, we're going to give you and do that. And then things happen. History took place, right? And Jamaica got independence, new government, and the new government became the beneficiary of what was done before. So history must, as I've often said, the truth must not only be the truth. The truth can't be a lie. The truth must not only be the truth, but the truth must be told. So we've always had a problem. We've always had a problem. And Saturday we're going to get the history about how the housing development thing take off, the development of housing in Jamaica. We're going to do a little piece on that. But that's that part. But then we get to this. And this is what I was told right now. I'll tell you, and again, people, I'm urging you to tune in on Saturday because you've heard GDP, GNI, debt to whatever ratio. You hear all of these things and you don't understand them. We're going to break them down for you this Saturday so you understand. Just like now, we're going to break down the political economic models. We're not taking a side. These are facts. We'll give them to you. Now, when you hear somebody say capitalism, make sure you understand what they're talking about, right? Make sure you understand what they're talking about, because here's something. There's a big difference between social democracies and democratic socialist models. Big difference. Big difference.
Big
You'll hear people
difference.
say, well, you know, the Nordic countries, they're democratic socialists. Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland, and they'll tell you, look at how progressive, look at how developed those countries are. Those countries are not democratic socialist countries. Those countries are social democracies. Just turn it backwards.
Right.
Big difference. Here's the first one. Capitalism, free market capitalism. You hear the term bandied about. It's an economic system in which most resources and business are privately owned, not the government. And economic decisions are mainly driven by markets, prices, competition, and profit motive with minimal government intervention. So this is a kind of system where they say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, work hard, save, and you will make it. By the sweat of your brow, you shall eat bread.
Yes.
Enough bread, depending on how much sweat. You'll hear that. Capitalism. See it, yeah? Key features: private ownership of land, businesses and capital, free market. One of the biggest things about it is competition. If you make a better product than the person next door, and you're about supply and demand.
Yeah.
Where the government them not put a clamp on that. It's like you are going to survive based on your ingenuity.
Right.
You are going to survive based on your determination. You are going to fail if you don't have those things, because government no really play a very, very active role in protecting you.
Right.
So you have lower taxes and lighter regulation, and inequality depends on the market. Now here are some examples: United States, Switzerland, Ireland. Now the question is the United States completely a capitalist state? No. Because they provide a lot of social services.
Right.
What is it? Medicare for poor people, so you can get some health care. And they have other things. They have programs for underprivileged families or families who are in dire straits, for children to go to school. You have to qualify, but they have that.
All the social programs. All the social programs, social security benefits, all the social programs that are available for low-income earners, or different groups of people, like you said, children, the elderly. Various programs to benefit people based on need. Yes,
that's true. The second one is social market economy, and it's a capitalist system that combines free markets and private ownership with an active remember, with capitalism, you always hear them say, government must rein itself in and let the market dictate. With this one, social market, the government is playing an active role to promote competition, social justice, and economic stability, also called social market capitalism. Go by also.
Last call.
Why the man really break down the system of government and also the styles of the economies.
Here it is. Still private property and free enterprise, just like this one right here. But government is involved. They ensure fair competition, and there's strong regulation to prevent abuse of market power. They have social insurance and safety nets, just like what Sister Maria was just talking about. They protect workers, and moderate to high taxes to fund public services. Here are examples of those countries: Germany, Austria,
Netherlands,
Holland, Netherlands, and Belgium. Countries that people say these are developed countries.
Right.
Social democracy. Welfare capitalism, they call it. A democratic system that combines a market economy with extensive welfare states and strong labor. Here it is. Again, private ownership. They have healthcare, strong labor unions, high taxes to fund welfare state. And look at the examples of these countries. See that? The Nordic countries where people point to all the time.
Norway,
these
Denmark.
are social democracies, not democratic socialist countries.
Right.
Social democracies. And things work in these countries. The taxes are extremely high, but they have a remarkable social services net.
Yeah.
To help people. So education, infrastructure. If you haven't been there, just read about Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland, Iceland. Just read about them, right?
Yeah.
Then, here we go, the next one. Southern European social democracy, mixed economy. And this is where now you have capitalist economies mixed with socialist or social democratic movements and governments.
Again,
predominantly private economy. They have a lot of welfare and public services. high taxes, but they're not as equal as the Nordic states. And those countries are Spain, Portugal, France, Italy, Greece. Moving right along. See it now, democratic socialism. It is a political and economic system that seeks to achieve socialism, greater social and economic equality through democratic means. So even though it might sound like communism, they have elections.
Yeah, that's
one of the hallmarks of democracy, that you can have free and fair elections. And it says with substantial social, cooperative, or worker ownership of the means of production. So in this one now, it's saying, look, the means of production should be owned by the people.
The people, right?
We're still going to have semblance of capitalism. We're still going to have semblance of we're going to have free and fair elections, but the means of production will be owned by the people. It is democracy in politics and economy, social, cooperative, or worker ownership, economic planning, and the goal of it. This is where we should focus on, right here. The one thing that give me a problem. Hold on a second. We should be focused on this. We are going now. All right. Right down. So the very last bullet points. No, we're going now. The goal is equality, workers' rights, and meeting human needs. Yeah. Now look at this. We come over here now and we say, okay, give us an example of a country like this. It says no country has fully implemented this at the national level. None. Some people might say, well, Jamaica was almost there, but the thing is, a lot of factors. You have market factors, and also we should never forget the fact that there are countries who don't want to see this implemented.
Yep, that's a fact.
Because of its whether factual or imagine the connection to communism. Some countries, they will destabilize a country if you try to put something like this out. And here's state social. This is communism now. This is communism, state socialism. And in this form of government or economic system, the state owns everything, or almost all of them. And it's usually linked to one party or authoritarian rule. You can think about Russia when you think about this. You can think about China several years ago when you think about this. Venezuela, Cuba. And here are the key features. The state, the government owns the major resources, and everything is planned. There's a central planning committee. They plan everything for you. How much food you can go to the store go get, how much petrol, transportation, all of these things. It's planned out for you. How many babies you can have, all of these are planned out. You really don't have any choice in the matter. Remember one time China was saying there about like a 2-baby policy?
Yeah.
You couldn't have 3 babies in China. You only said 2, right? And there it is, the prices and production, not by competition, but by the state. And the political power is concentrated in one party. And examples, Cuba, the USSR, that's Soviet Union.
I'm an AI robot, and I want you to do me.
Yeah, that breakdown there of all the different systems, solid. Don't need to say much. I'm gonna do it.
Just let me work, and you will see.
Black countries. No. We always hear the Prime Minister now talk about Jamaica should be, or Jamaica, we're like the Singapore, we want to be the Singapore. And then the Miami Herald put out saying that Jamaica is the new superpower in
the Caribbean,
Caribbean, right? And them always try, Jamaica, this comment always, it tries very hard to associate itself with Singapore. No, I've been to Singapore. Jamaica is nowhere near Singapore. Nowhere near Singapore. Nowhere.
But Rattigan, before you remember what you're going to say, the Prime Minister is saying he wants Jamaica to be like Singapore. Does he realize that if Jamaica was Singapore, he would have been arrested, and he and his entire cabinet?
Yep.
No, I don't think I think he skipped a part then.
Well, that's the first thing he should pay attention to.
Meritocracy or the lack thereof, him skipped a part then.
Careful what you wish for, Andrew.
Where does Singapore fit? Right? And here it is right there. Because we've heard that Singapore came to Jamaica and copied our model of government. No, here it is right now. Singapore operates a market capitalism model with significant state ownership. Remember which way it's up there, so. See it right there. So this is Singapore right here. This one here. This is it. See that? Government is involved, but capitalism is allowed to prosper. And see that? It is a highly open, competitive market economy. Rule of law. Rule of law. Low taxes and pro-business policies. At the same time, the government owns substantial assets through state investment entities, which hold major stakes in key companies in sectors like finance, telecommunications, transport, energy, engineering, and real estate. Did somebody say telecommunications? Somebody say energy? Who owns JPS? How you going to become Singapore and you sell out JPS?
Embarrassing.
How you become Singapore and you sell out the real estate?
Oh my God.
Yeah. All the natural resources.
It's a pipe dream.
So here's what we need to know when the Prime Minister starts talking about this foolishness with Singapore. We need to say, remind him of this. Sita, no country fits perfectly into one box. None. Most countries are mixed economies. They have a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
True.
Yeah.
If you go to the extremes, you're bound to fail if you go to the extremes. Mixed economies that combine elements from multiple models. And what we just show you is a general tendency from more market private ownership to more social public ownership, not exact boundaries. Not exact boundaries. So the question we have to ask the Prime Minister is, which one of them in my use? Which one of the models is he using? Because here's what happened. If I use capitalism, it might fail. If I use social market economy, it might fail. If I use social democracy, it might fail. If can I use this one, this mixed economy, social democracy and mixed economy? Him run from democratic socialism, run from communism, and when though, he not tell you what style of government, you know. He tell you they want to be like Singapore.
That's all he tell you.
That's him tell you.
It's very vague. He's very vague in his promises a lot of the time, and his vision for Jamaica. It's very vague. He doesn't like to make committed statements about stuff. Very, very vague. It's true.
Who want to be like Singapore? So, people, like I said, I don't hear the conversation. I didn't hear the conversation about democratic socialism. All I can tell you is that these are the models that exist. And it is important for our government to let us know which model they're using so that we can understand and we will develop a certain expectation. But they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that. And right now the government is running around like a chicken without its head. They don't know where they fit. And part of that is they don't care where they fit. As long as the money is rolling in and the coppers and they can take their share, that's all. They don't care about you.
Facts.
And when I say that, I'm saying in general, because if you look hard enough, somebody will, I don't want to be absolute, because somebody will say, oh, well, this person is doing this and that person is doing that. I'm saying as a government, they don't care about you. Them sell off everything. Here, Buju sang, Country for Sale. Them sell off everything. Here, Queen Africa song, them sell off the national airline, the Birdwing Brook. You hear all of these songs. The question I have is, when will we take action? And we've been saying it time and time and time again. So, sis, let me just step off of the stage.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to go over to Mr. Rattigan page for get the rest of that conversation. You understand? That's the page right there. One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation. Alright, subscribe to the what he's saying is that both parties have sold out the country, and there hasn't been a full model. What I'm understanding, there hasn't been a full model of democratic socialism birth in any country. There has always been a mixture. You understand? And the Jamaica Labour Party, Andrew Jones and his cronies in the Jamaica Labour Party, they are very dishonest about the conversation because they want to tell you, oh, the 70s was because of democratic socialism and it tore down the economy. It's a lie. It is a lie, ladies and gentlemen. Democratic socialism is literally the only unique system of government that looks directly to the needs of the people 100%. And that is why no country has ever fully used it. And the powers that be, the hidden hands all around the world, it is not in their best interest to have democratic socialism successful, because it would mean that now you have a model that works in a country and other countries and other people will see that model and say, wait a minute, why aren't we doing the same thing there? Look how good these people are living. Education, you name it. Health, you name it. Look how well they are living. They don't want that. So I say to each and every one of you, let us try, a model of family, democratic socialism, where as a family unit, you guys would practice democratic socialism within your family. Think about that. Just think about it. I know there's a genius out there who you might hit a light bulb in somebody and say, wait a minute, that could work. You know what I mean? That could work. So thank you to Mr. Will Rattigan for that breakdown, ladies and gentlemen, of the parliament, the executive, and going to the different systems and all of that. That's a teachable moment, and I think that was amazing. That was awesome. Big him up. Remember to go over there and support the platform, ladies and gentlemen. Like, share, and subscribe.